All right, yesterday, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin signed an executive order instructing the Department of Elections to remove non-citizens who may have purposefully or accidentally registered to vote. The order also required that the state identify and remove deceased voters, catch this, the number of which totals over 78,000. Well, in contrast, there's another state, Ohio, that made only surface level efforts to address their election integrity problems. So what can we take away from this tale of two different states? Well, here to discuss this is Ken Blackwell. He's FRC Action Special Advisor for Election Integrity. And as you probably are well aware, he previously served as the Secretary of State for Ohio. Ken, welcome back to Washington Watch. Always great to see you, my friend.
Jody, good to be with you.
Okay, look, before we get to your state of Ohio, give me your thoughts on what Virginia's governor has done.
I think the governor has aggressively addressed an issue that must be addressed across the country. As you know, we have a decentralized system, and so states approach these problems differently. But what needs to be addressed is the real threat to the integrity of citizenship in our country, and that's tied to the porous borders that we have. So our national sovereignty and the integrity of citizenship is really wrapped up in how various states, or all of our states, deal with these election integrity issues.
Absolutely, and I think it was a bold step that Governor Youngkin did, that he took for Virginia. So let's switch over to Ohio by contrast. Explain to us what's happening there as it relates to this issue of election integrity.
Well, I think, one, Ohio didn't have as a deeper hole that Virginia had. And the reason for that is that we've had two consecutive secretaries of state that have dealt with, one, non-citizen voting, have also dealt with keeping foreign money out of our elections, changing the composition of the electorate. And we've done it by making sure that we have all of the polls in Ohio covered with trained poll workers and observers. So it's a very transparent system. Jody, I'll just tell you, President Trump won Ohio by eight points. I would imagine that he's going to win Ohio by 8 points again. This is not going to be down to a nail-biting contest like it will be in Virginia, because that will be a clawback effort by the Trump team. But you know, when you start talking about Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, we're talking about results that will probably be within the margin of litigation. Again, Ohio, not to worry. All systems need to be stress tested, and we need early warning systems. And I think that those are in place in Ohio. But this is, I don't think Ohio is going to fall within the battleground states this time around, because it wasn't last time. And again, not to worry, because Ohio's governor, Secretary of State, and both chambers of the legislature have been dealing with this issue, and I think that things are under control. But I tell Frank LaRose all the time, we have to be willing to have folks kick the tires, and I think there's a citizen group that's kicked the tires, and now it's our obligation, Frank's obligation, to show them that their worries are misplaced.
Well, absolutely. Real quickly, our time is running out here. If you could, from a 30,000-foot perspective, just 1, 2, 3, what are the biggest concerns you have as it relates to election integrity nationally? What are the issues that need to be addressed?
Poll coverage, making sure that it's a transparent system. We need to make sure in our 3,100 counties, as many, if not all, of the polls are covered by bipartisan sets of eyes. The other thing is to make sure that we are aggressive in cleaning up the voter rolls. Now, the opportunity in Ohio the door closed yesterday, and that's the case in most states. But I feel confident that we have been paying attention to voter rolls and aggressively dealing with them, just as typified by what the governor did in Virginia yesterday.
And I would personally add to that the voter ID. I mean, we need to know that that people are legally
Who they say
registered
that.
voters as well.
And Ohio through citizen involvement and aggressively asking for it, Ohio has now photo ID, and I think that's very, very important. I've been advocating for that for quite time. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now with what Governor Youngkin did yesterday in Virginia, can other states, governors, secretaries of states do more between now and election time to secure election integrity? And has what Governor Youngkin done, is that a good model for others to take?
Well, again, I think his risk orientation is a good risk orientation. And you just have to be willing to press the envelope, because what's at stake, again, Jody, let me just say, the integrity of citizenship in our country and our national sovereignty. And so making sure that we have people in elected positions, whether secretaries of state or governor, that are willing to say, we're going to go to the mat on these issues is very important.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken Blackwell, FRC's Special Advisor for Election Integrity for FRC Action. Thank you for joining us on Washington Watch.